is Dr. Chris at White House Chiropractic. Today, I would like to talk to you about two things. In the form of a physical stressor is the first thing, and that would be forward head posture. If you look at today's society, just about everybody has forward head posture. So if you were to define forward head posture, ideally your ears should be straight over your shoulders. I don't think there's anybody out there that has that kind of posture, including myself. So the reason I know everybody has forward head posture, at least in modern day, is we all have cell phones. We all have computers, and many of us, even some of the worst cases of forward head posture are folks that have to live at a desk 8 hours a day, and they're looking at 1 or 2 or 3 computer screens. And the more screens you have, what I find is the more issues people will have, not with just forward head posture, but just with crazy symptoms, severe headaches, migraines, issues with dizziness, loss of balance, even carpal tunnel-like symptoms, numbness and tingling in the arms, hands, and fingers, shoulder pain, neck pain, loss of mobility, things like that. And then the sad part is, out of the people that sit at a desk all day, there's a number of those that are physically active, okay? And then there's a number of those that go home and continue that sedentary lifestyle. And those are the ones that I really worry about, because they're more likely to have a high mortality rate. So anyhow, but that's what I want to talk about today, and that is what we would call a physical stressor. In other words, a physical stressor is when the weight of your head is not held up by your spine. Your head should be straight over your spine. Instead, the weight of your head is being held up by the muscles in the base of the skull. And so I call it a drawbridge neck or a slump neck. But what happens is you lose that curve, and you have disc spaces between each of your vertebrae, and those disc spaces are out in the front of your neck, and they're really important for keeping your neck in alignment if they work properly. But when you push your head forward, the weight of the head goes forward and down on the discs, and the muscles in the back of your neck work overtime, and eventually the discs start to wear down and you develop degenerative joint disease or arthritis. And once you develop that, you've got a thin disc, you've got muscles that are strained, and then not only that, but the muscles start to atrophy, and then you really have problems. And we see a lot of patients like that. And so anyhow, so just to give you a couple of tips on what you can do is, I would take a break every 30 minutes and stand up and stretch. Typically what happens with the forward head posture is the shoulder blades will start to spread around your rib cage and come up. And so those muscles will get weaker. These muscles get tighter, okay, as the head goes forward. And then once the head goes forward, of course, the skull has to adjust, so we do this. So this is a position most people are in. So what we do is we have them stretch their chest. What I'll have them do is put their arms between like in a doorway, and I'll have them taking a deep breath and gently move in and stretch this. And then what we'll do is we'll have them pull the shoulders back and down and pull the head back and hold those stretches or those positions for 10 seconds. You can do those probably every 20 to 30 minutes a day if you want. The next thing that I'll have them do, they'll try to encourage good motion along with good posture. Those go hand in hand. Poor posture goes into poor movement patterns. Good posture, good movement patterns. So we got, the other one is called raise the roof, where your shoulders are back, your chest is open, hands like this, you come down and you come up, just like that. Okay, so we call that raise the roof. And you can do it nice and slowly. But that's really important, because as you get older, if you sit at a desk for your whole career, you may have difficulty putting your hands above your head. In fact, that can even cause frozen shoulder, where your shoulder just doesn't move. And part of the reason your shoulder's not moving properly is your shoulder blades, your scapulae, have come around to the front, and they're no longer in an effective position to stabilize your arm so it can move. So when you bring your arms up, your shoulder blades have to roll back 1 degree for every 3 degrees your arms come up. Does that make sense? So if you're like this, you bring your hands up above your head, the shoulder blades have to rotate. So a lot of people with forward head posture will have issues with their shoulder blades. And so we work a lot with that. That's pretty much everywhere. Even children are developing that at a very young age. And so that's a big deal. And not only that, but you can get something called carpal tunnel syndrome. We call it a double crush because the nerves that come out of your neck, they can get compressed in your neck, in your shoulder, in your elbow, or in your carpal bones. And most people assume it's carpal tunnel syndrome, but the majority of cases, I would say 80% of all cases that have carpal tunnel syndrome have some type of nerve impingement in their neck. And that is from poor posture and forward head posture. So chiropractors do really good work for forward head posture, joints that are stuck and not moving, creating stress on your nervous system and creating symptoms. But something else I want to add is there's a lot of people out there that will have like a lot of inflammation just in their whole body. And so inflammation is driven by insomnia, okay? If you're not sleeping well, that can create a lot of stress on your body. Your body doesn't repair properly. And of course, you've got this physical stressor with the forward head posture. In addition to that, if you are somebody that likes to eat snacks throughout the day, that's going to increase your insulin levels. That's going to increase inflammation, and any physical problem you have, like forward head posture, will be made worse by systemic inflammation, by keeping your insulin levels up. So the big player in the game is insulin. Insulin is how people get hormonal imbalances. That's where it all starts at. So what I mean, we're shifting gears a little bit, but what I mean by insulin being the primary player in the hormonal imbalance game is if you're snacking and eating throughout the day. Remember when you were kids? Shoot. We drink all these, at least I did. I drink Mountain Dew. I'd eat all these carbohydrates, eat cereal, man. And everybody thought you were real healthy and you were growing, you know, because you ate all this food, even late night snacks. And so your insulin levels will go up. Well, that contributes to inflammation. Now, as a young person, you don't notice that, but if you continue that lifestyle as you get older, it really takes a toll on you. And so insulin imbalance is the number one cause of other hormone issues like low growth hormone, low testosterone. And so just about everybody that does this or goes through this fed state will eventually start to have issues with thyroid, estrogen dominance, all these other hormone imbalances. And so the way to take care of that is not to get testosterone injections or put the progesterone on your skin. Your body wasn't meant to absorb it that way. But to get your endocrine system working better, the best way to do it is to not eat snacks throughout the day. Eat 3 meals in an 8-hour window. Get out and walk. Walking is really good for helping with hormonal imbalance, especially when you do all these things together. Get rid of your processed foods. Eat foods that are, you know, like whole vegetables. Eat foods that are like meat, good healthy meat. Farm-raised meat. What I mean is grass-fed meat, like beef, good healthy chicken, and good healthy fats. A lot of the processed fats like canola oil, peanut oil, vegetable oil, those are horrible for you. Those will raise your insulin levels and raise your inflammation and contribute to the pain in your neck that you're having. So I think that probably covers it. I don't know. Any questions out there? Aaron, do you have a question?
What oil would be healthy? You just mentioned some unhealthy ones. I'm just curious.
Okay. So a really good oil, believe it or not, saturated fats are great. Your brain is made of saturated fat. The majority of your brain is saturated fat, like 60% of the weight of your, and there's cholesterol in that, believe it or not. And so, so coconut oil, it's a medium chain triglyceride. You ever hear MCT?
Mm-hmm.
That's a substitute for medium chain triglyceride. Coconut oil is a saturated fat. Now, saturated fat, a definition of that you can just kind of look at, is a fat that's solid at room temperature.
Okay.
Okay, so lard. Now, you don't want lard from an animal that's like manufactured. You want lard from an animal that's been grass fed and well taken care of and is a healthy animal.
Where would you get
that? Coconut oil.
Where would I get some healthier lard?
Lard? Gosh, if you can make it yourself after you cook like your sausage or bacon, especially from a pasture-fed animal, you just put it in a jar. And it's really stable. And so another thing for stability is when these fats get into your body, they're stable. They don't oxidize or become rancid because that's just how they are. And so you want stable fats because stable fats are really good for your cell membrane. They're good for your nerves. And a little bit about your cell membrane. The way a virus gets into your body is it will get in, it'll spread through your mouth or just being exposed to it. But once it gets in your body, it'll actually try to reproduce itself inside of your cells. So it'll try to bore a hole through your cell and then start to use your own cell to produce more of the virus. If you have healthy cell membranes, that's the wall of the cell, and you've got good fats like we're talking about, you're going to have a more difficult cell membrane to penetrate. And so that's a big part of your diet. Any other questions?
No, I think it's interesting. My grandmother kept it in a jar and used it to cook everything.
Oh, yeah. Is that not amazing?
That is.
Yeah, and that's pretty simple. We kind of look at grandma and we look at that lifestyle that grandma had, but man, I'll tell you what, they were workers. They got up early.
She lived to 98.
Yeah, I know. And there's a lot of them didn't live very long because they had a dangerous life. I mean, they get beat up or chewed up by some kind of a piece of farm equipment or something. But anyhow, well, hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions or if you want more detailed information that we could help you with, that would be great. You can give us a call at White House Chiropractic. Thanks for watching. Feel free to share this with your friends. Thank you.